I want to shift gears and talk a little bit about what's happening with Google. This one is out of The Guardian. Google keeps Street View UK Wi-Fi data as privacy group seeks legal action. If you were listening on Wednesday, I stood in for Alex for about an hour and went over the fact that Google, over the past several years, they're not saying how many years, were using their Street View camera devices, their little cars there, to take all the wireless data and store it. Oh, they were taking open source information and storing it in their data mining operation. But then they said it was an accident, Paul. Oh, it was all accidental. But anybody who knows anything about computers knows to take information and to store it requires hardware and software. And I've had people email me and say, those are just cameras on the top of the car. Yeah, they're cameras, but they're also admitting to data mining. So this article right here, a Google Street View car on Coronation Street. It's not clear whether the rover's return has Wi-Fi. Of course it does. Google is to retain data captured from the UK wireless home networks while carrying out its Street View mapping until it receives more specific instructions from the UK Information Commissioner, it said today. But if you were listening on Wednesday, they said they told them to destroy the data immediately. They're not going to do so. Regulation of Investigatory Powers Act, RIPA, for unlawful interception of users' data, and the group may try to go to the police to investigate the situation. It absolutely should be a criminal investigation into why Google is taking everybody's information without their permission. Google is already facing criminal investigations in Germany over its capture of the data from open Wi-Fi networks and faces further investigations from a number of European countries for possible breaches of data protection laws and possibly computer hacking. It says it has deleted the data that was collected in Ireland, Denmark, and Austria, according to those countries' wishes. That means there cannot be any threat of prosecution to those countries as any evidence for the court case is unavailable. So they saw that they might be prosecuted in those countries and apparently dumped the data. In a statement released on Friday, the company said, following requests from the Irish, Danish, and Austrian data protection authorities, we can confirm that we have deleted payload data identified as coming in from those countries. They're also saying that they got rid of their Belgium, France, Italy, Spain, Germany, Switzerland, and Czech Republic information. Notice the United States isn't there. And if you read the headline yesterday, it was the CEO, Eric Schmidt, who we have in Invisible Empire, talking about a new world order, saying no harm, no foul, as if this is a basketball game. No, it's a data mining issue. And I'm going to close it with this. German prosecutors have requested access to one of the hard drives used in the data gathering, though Google has so far refused. See, they won't tell you what they're taking. Paul, what's your view on this, and why isn't this a huge story in the United States?
It isn't a huge story because Google's reputation as a respecter of privacy, which of course is a misnomer, they worked with it. It was announced in 2008, more than 2 years ago, that Google was working with the CIA to gather intelligence inside the US. You know that Google was founded with the aid of CIA money. So of course Google is a mass depository of data about Americans and about anyone that uses it. And the government's going to use that data, and the government's working with Google to use that data. It's like Facebook. Again, it's just a mass government depository. Anyone who still has a Facebook profile that they keep any personal information whatsoever on is out of their mind. You had the instant messages come out last week from the founder and CEO of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, where he's talking to someone about people on Facebook, people using Facebook, and he said, quote, I have over 4,000 emails, pictures, addresses, SNS, and this is just after it started. And his friend responds, what? How did you manage that one? Zuckerberg, people just submitted it. I don't know why. They trust me. Dumb effers. So that's the CEO and founder of Facebook laughing about and swearing at people who submit their personal information, which he now has control of. And now we learn that, again, like Google, Facebook is openly working with the CIA with all this information about people's personal lives right at their fingertips.
Exactly. It's going to create a system where they can really database and profile people on another level and then sell those databases and profiles to private companies, so you won't even have to go on Facebook to see the little ad on the side. They're going to match your IP address with your Facebook account, and you'll literally go to any search engine or website and you'll see those type of ads. And it goes much, much further than that. Again, in Invisible Empire, I go over Hepting versus AT&T, where the largest telecommunications companies, 99.9% of the telecommunication companies in this country, are taking all the data and storing them with Norris Insight systems for the federal government. And they are being keyed up through Echelon, Carnivore, and other systems to database you, to profile you. And this is just another step in the cashless society control grid that they're trying to put into place, Paul.
Well, exactly. And it's not just a privacy issue. It's a harassment issue, because as we're moving towards this Minority Report style world where advertising and promotional media becomes more and more invasive, now they have magazines that play videos when you're opening and reading just a standard magazine. They have systems whereby if you drive by certain places on the highway where they have transmitters, they can sense what radio station you're listening to and display ads based on those tastes in music or preferences. When you list the bands that you like on your Facebook page, targeted advertising based on that information that you submitted is then directed towards you. So it's not just a question of your personal life being exposed and being known. It's the harassment that will follow as a result of this Minority Report style invasive advertising, which will all run off the information that you gave them in the first place.
And it's not just that. Years ago, the FBI announced that they would be trolling MySpace and Facebook with fake profiles to basically entrap people. For instance, I remember the story last year at a high school prom party in New Jersey. They had some just police officers infiltrate one of the groups, say, hey, this is where the party's going to be, and they went and busted a post-prom party via Facebook. People need to realize this is already in use by law enforcement.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's no surprise, because the entire internet was a NSA database. That's how it began, and it hasn't really changed from that in 2010. So people need to be more aware than ever about personal information. I still find it amazing that people will post photographs of their own children and, photographs of their own personal life completely openly on the internet for everyone in the world to view. I mean, if they value their privacy so little, then they shouldn't be surprised when all these scandals emerged about how their data was being sold by the government and between different corporations. So it's a two-way street.
It's the Alex Jones Show. I am Jason Burmis sitting in. We're going to come back with one final segment with Paul Joseph Watson of PrisonPlanet.com. We're streaming live over at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv.